Are we on? Are we on? Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I am your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And oh boy, tonight we have a very special guest. This basketball head is an Abraham Lincoln standout and part of that 1991 city championship team. Y'all know every now and again I got to bring up one of my guys from Lincoln, so it is what it is. After high school, this basketball head attended Fulton Montgomery Community College while reaching the Division III All-Star status. Can you imagine that? All the way up in Region 3 doing D3 All-Star status. And also, when he got to Southern Vermont College, he led his team to a 19-4 winning season. Once his college career was done, he played semi-pro ball in the Eastern Basketball Alliance. This basketball head returned to Southern Vermont College, where he became an assistant coach. As SVC, as they call it, they made the Division III Sweet 16 in 2001-2002 season, as well as the Eastern College Athletic Conference in 2003-2004. Nowadays, you can find this basketball head coach at AAU for the Albany Celtics, as well as advocating for social justice, educational equity, and an opportunity for youth and leadership. So, without further ado, help me welcome to the show Abraham Lincoln standout and Southern Vermont great, Shawn Pratt.
Y'all ready?
Y'all ready?
Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online. Buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, man? How you doing, man? Hey, man, every time I hear the beginning of your show, man, I get like, even when I'm in the car just listening, I get all hyped up, man. You know what I'm saying? Go hard or go home. You know what I'm saying?
It.
So
That's the only way we know, man. That's the only way we know.
So without this, man, I don't know where we would be, man. And in the city. So salute to you and everything you do on the Basketball Heads, the greatest show in America.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Listen, man, look, I know this was a long time coming, right? Like I always tell people who really don't know or probably don't watch the show, a lot of people that, people are just seeing, this has been in the works for a minute. So all my people over on IG, come over to YouTube. Come over and have some fun. Sit back, put it on your TV, and enjoy the show. So you got some people on Instagram as well. They're always tuning in.
For sure.
But I want to jump right into this, man, right? You already know the first question is, who introduced you to the game?
Oh, man. I'm from Coney Island. So basketball is like a religion there. You know what I'm saying? But the people that I've seen, pick up a basketball was my father, and my brother. My brother, as you know, his name is Finesse Mitchell Pratt.
Yeah.
All the friends that he played, all his homeboys that he played with, they all played basketball. Let me give you some of the names: Mellow Mick, Silk,
of course,
Damari,
yes.
the Leave Alone crew, LAC. I mean, I mean, if you live in Coney Island, you don't know who the LAC is, man. Something wrong with you. So those guys, I can remember those guys really. I mean, really playing a lot of basketball when I was young, when I was really little, coming up. You know, following them and seeing the things that they do on the court. I can remember the first time I seen them play, they was playing in the Hersman Y out there in Coney Island. I think the team was named the Hawks. Like I said, I was young, sitting on the sideline watching, and I was so amazed to see all these guys play the way they did. You know, I was just, like I said, I was a young kid, just trying to tag along. But with these bigger guys, you know, that were on the block, I mean, I looked up to them, and you know, that's where mostly I got the vision of really, you know, picking up a basketball. And like I said, my father, like I can remember being at a Lincoln game when I was young, man. I remember you. I remember all of y'all, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when your name came up, I said, you know, coming back for memories. But like I said, guys like yourself, guys like Silk, my brother, Mellow Mick, Speedy, T-Gar, all them dudes, you know, they were out there in the court. So those are the people that I look up to, for real, for real. Those are the people that got me started, basically.
Cool.
Oh, don't forget the Marbury family. And again, I want to send my condolences, you know, because, you know, Eric Marbury passed away. You know, he is definitely the greatest basketball player to come out of Coney Island, for sure, for sure. So I just want to send my condolences to the family.
He started it all. Whatever craze that or accolades that we received playing at Lincoln, he started it all.
That's a fact.
So salute to the Marbury family. And I just hope it's not true about Eric, man. But again, you know, definitely salute to him and his family.
Right.
It's tough, man. Wow. So when did you start to take the game seriously?
I would say around junior high school. I went to junior high school 303, like right outside of Coney Island. It was actually right next to Abraham Lincoln. How ironic is that?
Was it was it right around the corner from like down the block?
It was like right around the corner. You remember that long corridor?
That's
you
right.
Walk to the F train over that way.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We're the F train.
Yeah.
So that school right there, that at that time we were playing in the junior high school leagues. It was 303, James J. Reynolds, Cavallaro, and Mark Twain.
Right.
Now, let me tell you, 303 had myself, James Cerisier, Lou Johnson, right? And Ruben McLaughlin, one of my friends. And over at Cavallaro was Danny Turner. Shout out to the Telfair family. You know, God bless Danny Turner. I know he passed. He was one of their best players. He was on Cavallaro. He gave us fits. James J. Reynolds, Mo Brown, fresh, one of the player of the year, one of the best players New York City has ever seen. That at like 5'9", he was on that team. So Mike Bond and Andrew Amigo also played for Mark Twain. So that's when we really started taking the game serious. At that time, that's when we really had a realistic thoughts of, okay, we could play high school basketball, because anytime before that, I would have never even thought that. I can remember. Yeah, go ahead. What was you gonna say?
No. I'm listening. My bad.
I can remember my homeboy James Cerisier, who also got the MVP in the Garden that year. He told me, he was like, Shawn, Tony Granati. Remember Tony? Rest in peace, Tony Granati.
Yes, the Candy Man.
Candy.
That's right.
Tony Granati, let me tell you.
He was the everything man. Trust me. Anything you needed. If you needed a Band-Aid, piece of gum, some change in your pocket, a bagel, whatever, someone to talk to, yes, Tony was the OG.
And Pooh, you experienced that before me.
Facts.
Those people over there treated us like family.
Right.
They basically, we were like one of their own. We didn't go without no food. No, we were taken care of.
That's right.
100%. But back to Tony. Tony Granati came over and was recruiting James.
Okay.
And then James brought me along with him. So I was hanging on the coattails of James, really. And we would go over to the practices, to the Lincoln practices. Of course, we, from the neighborhood, we already knew Juju. Guys on the team at that time was Willie Johnson, Leroy Flood,
right.
Daryl Mims, Michael Spencer, who was one of my guys that I looked up to. All those guys I looked up to, but Michael Spencer, probably one of the best players to come out of Coney Island.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
Those are the guys right there. That's when I really started taking it serious. Because when you out in the playgrounds in Coney Island, Pooh, like you know as well as I do, ain't no playing no games. They coming at your neck. You know what I'm saying? They coming to take your spot. You don't know. You sitting on the sideline and you saying to yourself, I got next. Somebody liable to take your next if you don't stand up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it was a line full of guys wanting to get on that court. And, for me, I had to make sure I was one of them guys to get on that court. Because if not, then, you wasn't really going to be, really wasn't going to go nowhere. Really, nobody was going to notice you. So
it was like a rites of passage we talk about, right? Every ball player goes through it. There's levels that you got to reach before you start to even get recognized. First level is, being able to be out on the court with the older guys, right? Then the next level is be able to get picked by the older guys. Then the next level is to see if you can stay on the court. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all already knew that. Let me tell you.
Come on, that was everywhere, definitely.
Hey, let me tell you. Bernard, Toussaint, Bernard Mitchell, and Boobie Robbie Williams. They used to come outside every day and play. This we was little now and play one-on-one fulls. They used to play one-on-one fulls.
Right.
We took that from well, actually, let me tell you, when we was young on the court, you know how we be on the court playing, right? We playing. Them dudes, they come downstairs and they like, okay, we about to play. Y'all got to get off the court. Because I'm telling you right now, Coney Island, the big homies that was playing ball, if you was on there a kid, you had to get off the court. There was enough courts in Coney Island for you to go to. Well, we wanted to be big men. We said, nah, we ain't going nowhere. We going to stay on the court. They said, all right. They playing, we playing, right? I'm sitting out, Pooh. I'm sitting out. I'm like waiting for a rebound. And then next thing you know, boom, get hit in my back, thrown to the fence. I turn around, it's Toussaint. He like, I told you to get out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
The reason why I'm saying that is because in their minds at that time, there was a mission because y'all was playing at Lincoln at the time. The mission was to win at all costs. It was, at Lincoln, we wasn't losing. By 89, we had the respect. By 88, 89, we had the respect. Plus, it also helped that we had Norman Marbury, right? So we was being courted to go to national tournaments. I remember we went to Las Vegas. This is my first time I ever been out the hood, ever in life. Harstein pulled that off at that time. At that time, we was going to national tournaments. Now, by the time Tiny took the job, they was already going to other planets by that time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how, but like you said, the progression. But I forgot where I was at a little bit, but
we're just talking about this, the evolution of your game and the guys who kind of help you along the way. Boobie, Bernard Mitchell, and we talked about it being a rite of passage. Now to go through that. Now, when you was coming up, you naming all these ball players, right? Which is all cool because I know them as well. Who was the best at that time? Like, I need one person who was the best that everyone was trying to chase. Now, mind you, this is before Steph. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you during the time I was coming up, like late 80s, like early 90s.
Right.
New York City was at its peak, but I want to say in Coney Island at that
that's
time,
Coney Island. That's right.
Man, Pooh, you're gonna put me on the spot.
That's what we're here to do, baby.
There was a few guys, but in my opinion, because I played against him so much, and he was so ferocious. Like he was ferocious. Like he was coming at you hard. You had to really play hard. And that person is Norman Marbury. Okay. He was, listen, when we went to Fort Myers, Florida, he single-handedly carried us through that whole entire tournament. Now, mind you, first round, we played Kathleen High School. Kathleen High School in Sarasota, Florida. They had a player named Gallen. His name was Reggie Gallen. But that area is really famous for pro athletes, right? Ray Lewis is from there. I don't know if you know that, right? So we played them in the first round, blew them out, right? Second round, we played Miami Carroll City, where we played against Charles Claxton and his team. Charles Claxton played for the University of Georgia. His son plays for the Nets right now. Nicholas Claxton played against him. We beat them, right? And then we played Flint Hill Prep with Corey Alexander and Randolph Childress. And I want to say, like, Juju averaged at least 40 in that tournament alone.
Damn.
We lost in the championship by a buzzer shot by Randolph Childress.
Right.
But Norman Marbury, if somebody had a camera and see them highlights, like when he dunked on homeboy from New Utrecht, like he jumped over him. They got the pictures. It's in the 1990 yearbook. He got the ball cuffed in his hand, and the dude head is under his arm. You know, he was one of the high fly. He wasn't scared of nothing. You know, and at that time, I would have thought that Juju would have made the NBA, but Juju was one of the most ferocious ball players in Coney Island. He don't care who you are. He's coming at you hard, but you know, he wanted us to come at him also hard. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I practiced against him every day. Just imagine practicing against Norman Marbury every day, Michael Spencer, Corey Ridges. You know what I'm saying? Tough guys are really God, man. So
yeah, I'm saying a lot, man. What was it like playing in your first game under the refs? Like, give me that experience. All right, let's talk about you a moment.
The referees in high school?
No, your first game under the refs. Like, we talked about you playing in the park, right? We talked about you playing in the park.
Oh, like
right?
my first game as
first real game. There you go.
It took me a while because it wasn't street ball. It wasn't just running up and down. You know what I'm saying? Because in Coney Island, you tend to be in the situation where, you running up and down. But the first time I played in a referee game, it was with the Flames. And for me, it helped me because it showed me that the game is structured and it's levels to it. You don't just go out there and you start playing, right? Like,
right.
That's when you really start to learn the game. So I want to say I started learning it really, like, in that sense, like with referees, playing with referees was in the Flames. Shortly after that, shout out to Disco David Reed. He came up with his team, Nice and Nasty, which he had Silk and all of them.
Okay.
And they was ripping everybody up in Brooklyn. But those Disco, the Flames, those are the people that introduced me to the game in a sense that, okay, now there's referees, now there's plays we got to run, right? And all these other things that you have to incorporate into the game of basketball if you want to be a really good basketball player. You know, it's not just about running up and down. It's about, structured, structured space in which you can learn a game of basketball. So the Flames playing with Disco all around the city, Those was that was the first time.
Okay. I'm getting some feedback. Can you turn your is my mic too low or something? Because I'm getting feedback from your speaker.
Move my phone away.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it better now?
Yeah. Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. So let's talk about that transition into Lincoln. All right. How was that transition for you? And did you do the normal route? Well, I won't say normal route because did Lincoln have JV by the time you got to Lincoln?
Yeah, Lincoln had JV. They didn't have JV by the time y'all was there?
We had no JV. This is why I went straight to varsity. I was playing JV football, went out for the team with my guys because I didn't want to ride the train by myself. And I wound up going to basketball instead of playing football.
Football, right?
Because I played JV football and then, moving over to basketball was a transition for me as well. But there was no JV basketball at all. None. You even made varsity a bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Harstein was a beast, man. Like, okay. When I came in, again, I came in from 303. So 303 went up to 9th grade. So I didn't come into Lincoln as a freshman. I came in as a sophomore. So I played 3 years at Lincoln. When we got there, all summer long, it was all summer long. Who's gonna fill those spots on the Lincoln team? It was 6 spots. 6 guys graduating from Lincoln that year. And who was going to be them 6 spots? I think it was, let me try to name them. It was Leroy Flood.
Ooh.
It was, the 6 spots was Leroy. Like, Leroy was graduating.
Leroy, he was a dog. He was a dog.
Leroy was, I just spoke to him the other day. Yeah, he a beast. Flood. Who else was there? Willie Johnson.
Yes. From the Johnson family.
I can't remember who else. Willie Johnson, but and it was 6 of them that was graduating.
Right.
And there was only 6 spots. So now you got to think, right? At that time, Lincoln was getting more Coney Island guys than crosstown guys. Somebody told me there was a time in Lincoln where it was strictly crosstown, and I'm like, whoa, really?
Well, I don't remember that.
No?
I don't. Maybe there probably was a time. But in my era, you have more Coney Island guys, but it was a nice mixture. It was like about 4 or 5 of us from across town.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it balanced it out a lot.
By the time I was there, we had I think we had 2 or 3 guys from across town.
Now,
everybody else was Coney Island.
Hold on. Now, I know people.
I'm not even lying, bro.
No. I gotta blow on this one, right? This is real. A lot of people hearing this are going across town, but y'all both from Brooklyn. No, okay. Coney Island's its own little town, like its own little place. And you have on my side, Bed-Stuy, the Brownsville, the East New York. That's way on the other side of town. So they call that cross town. So there's been a lot of rivalries. In 1983, when we lost to Boys and Girls, there was a big riot at FDR because Crosstown was on one side and Coney Island was on the other side. And after the game was over, all hell broke loose. We was in the locker room for 2 hours.
What?
And it's been like that ever since. So they try to have it at neutral places even since back then.
Whoa, see, I didn't even know that. When I heard the when you was talking with Silk and y'all was talking about how y'all had to kind of, it's funny because we're by the time I got there,
right,
because of what y'all did before that, we was able to stand on that and stand tall as being one of the best teams in New York City and not worrying about nobody knocking us off.
Right.
Like it was interesting to hear the struggles that y'all went through. Y'all talked about the struggles with Alexander Hamilton and all of that stuff.
Well, that was before my time.
Oh, that was before your time. Okay,
That's what Silk and them had to go through early on, right?
Right. Okay.
But what happened was our nemesis back then was boys and girls. Remember I told you about that 83 playoff game? They won at the buzzer. And then the next year, my sophomore year, after Silk and them left, and we was all still growing, Boys Town beat us by 20. So just imagine, you lose to them by 1, and then you get blown out by 20. That next year, we was out for blood. So we scrimmaged them, smacked them, and then in the playoffs to go to the city championship.
Wow.
Smacked them. Facts.
Wow. And and like boys and girls was nice back then. They were nice. They always had that reputation. So I get it.
Nah. So you played JV. How many years you played JV before you get to move up to varsity?
I didn't play JV. I went straight to varsity.
See? There you go.
Nah, but if it wasn't, hey, again, like I said, like I had to put the workout in the street first. Like I had to, you can't, a lot of these guys, they afraid to guard, you hold Juju, you hold Mike Spence, you hold these guys. No, you hold them. Somebody got to hold them. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to hold them. You get cracked up, then you just get cracked up.
Yeah,
that's the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? I knew eventually I would have to play them. So why am I trying to avoid them now? You know what I'm saying? So, we had to really put our work in the street. So by the time we was in school, because these are the same people we see in the school.
Right.
Juju already saying, yo, Pratt, he can shoot, get him, get this guy. The 6 was already picked. Right. It was myself, James Cerisier, Corey Johnson, David Harris, Chocolate, rest in peace. And who was the 5th guy? Reggie McGeady. And I think it was somebody else. Who else? Who's the 6th one? Well, I know that 5 for sure, who made the team that year, Okay. And there was a lot of guys that were really good that tried out. So,
isn't it always the case?
Always, man.
I'm still hearing the feedback again.
How about now?
Hello?
Yeah.
Testing.
I just turned off my AC, man.
All right, cool.
I don't know if that was it. Maybe that.
I was getting feedback. The AC, I couldn't really hear it, so you was good on that end. But it's a lot better now. All right. So, now you get into Lincoln and transitioning, because the transition is pretty cool for you guys, because most of the guys and people that's in your neighborhood go to Lincoln. So it's not that much of a transition. And you guys are used to seeing people of different culture and nationalities because you guys are Coney Island. So a lot of the world visits Coney Island. So every now and again, you guys get to intertwine with different cultures and different races. So pretty much your transition was pretty smooth. I'm quite sure when it came time to perform on a basketball court or find your space or place on the court, there was some things that you had to go through first, correct?
Yeah, you talking about on the court?
Yeah. When we finally get to the court.
I mean, for me, I was still learning how to transition over to, learning how to play real basketball, right? Like in a structured form, like, running plays, knowing the plays, knowing what spots you need to be in, knowing what you have to do, knowing your responsibilities, knowing your role on that team. I struggled with that a little bit in the my first year. I got 0 playing time. 0. You know how Austin is when he go.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna tell you, as a freshman, I rode the pine until we was up like 20, and then coach would put me in, and every time I went in, I scored. So that's that was just my goal. If I get in 20 seconds or 30 seconds, everybody was cheering for me when I got in, especially not like the crowd, and the crowd too, but most of the guys on the team, no matter if it was on the road or home, they was like, get yours, get yours, get yours. Come on, Pooh, put it up. So that installed confidence in me early on, knowing that, even though I'm playing a minute, 2 minutes, depending if we blew somebody out, which we did a lot, because that year we had a very awesome record. I was able to play a lot, but not in crucial situations. Trust me, in the real good games or even decent games, I rolled the pine. We had to blow the team out for me to get in my freshman year.
Wow, yeah. I mean, you know how it is. Our first year is going to be hard, and Harstein hasn't really. I don't know if he done that in y'all's era, like when a guy come in. Like I did hear when Tiny came in, then that means Josie wasn't gonna have no spot no more.
Yo, let me tell you something.
They said Tiny took Josie's spot and his girl. So I said, yo.
It's so sad because that's what everybody always say, man. They always kill my guy Josie. Yo, listen. Me and Josie came together. Me, Josie, and David Adbanjo. My freshman year, Coach Harstein only picked 3 freshmen. That's it. He picked 3 freshmen. He cut everybody else. Everybody knew Josie was going to make the team because he played for the Flames and he had more skills than everybody as a freshman.
And more gear. He had more gear than anybody. Go ahead.
Fact, because he was on that level, right? But, and also, you had Dave Adbanjo, which he was from my coach's school at 320. I'm the only guy who didn't have an end. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have anyone pulling for me. My coach felt my energy and what I could bring. I was only 5'8". No one knew I was going to grow to 6'4" my sophomore year, and 6'5" the next year, 6'6". And anyway, so all of these things became, learning tools for me as a young man. So I know that first year with you kind of just learning the Lincoln way. There's a way to play, and then there's the Lincoln way. That's it. There's only 2 ways.
Pooh, it took the whole year. I was on the bench the whole
year. I know.
I remember Stefan coming to me and being like, see, that bench be talking to you, right? Right? But what it did was it fueled me to say, you know what? I ain't sitting on this bench, bro. I'm gonna be busting my behind all summer long. I'm going to camps. I'm gonna be out there playing. I'm holding the hardest guys. I've already made up in my mind at that point, I gotta play a role. I have to play a role to be on that court. Coach knew that I could shoot. I've actually got the team kicked out of practice a few times because you know how coach be when he yelling and screaming and he like, oh, these guys are doing it, right? We got kicked out of practice a few times. And he would come to me and he would be like, well, what's going on in the games? I'm like, well, you got to let me play. You let me play, you get more. But again, they didn't need me to score at Lincoln at that time. They didn't need me to score. And I played my role. We had Norman Marbury. We had Derek Cooper. We had James Cerisier. We had Chaka Ship. All Division I players. Is going to go through them first, being in the battles with those guys, Mike Spencers and the Corey Ridges and the Tyrone Parkers and the Darryl Mims and the Leroy Floods and all of those guys, and plus looking at the images of you guys before that, you have to, when you put on that Lincoln uniform, you have to be ready to, you have to be with that, have that ferociousness in you to want to win these games. And our mindset was city championship every year. I don't know about everybody else. You know what I mean? Everybody was chasing us at that time. You know what I'm saying? And we was already battle tested. My senior year, again, we had no Marburys on the team. We was already battle tested because of the years that Juju was on the team before that. He helped us be that way. So when we were without him, we were able to deal with it. Because I remember the Post and the Daily News and all of them would tell us how you gonna win the city championship. You got no Marburys. Ask Coach. Coach will tell you. He remember that.
Listen. It happened to me my senior year when I had to leave and go to prep school. Right, I was going Ruby and eligible because I got left back, and my birthday fell on a certain date. Anyway, my coach didn't want me to get to a place where I'll be ineligible, so he sent me to prep school my senior year, and there was an article that says Abraham Lincoln won't return to the city championship because the loss of Glenn Harding. And then, salute to Tiny and Dave Banjo. They got to the city championship, I think, or the game to get to the city championship, and we lost by 1.
Right. And Dave Banjo, Tiny. Shout out to Tiny, man. Tiny, listen, I used to hang on them all the time, bro. If there was any good basketball to be played, you had to be around them. Like I was around Kwame all the time. You know what I'm saying? Kwame is
he can shoot that thing.
Kwame is the greatest shooter Coney Island has ever seen. He dropped 50 on us at Lincoln.
No, I agree. And there's some great shooters. Stephon, of course, is the greatest player.
Huh?
I said Stephon is the greatest player overall. Iconic. But as far as shooting, yeah.
Rob Phelps is another tough one because I had to guard him at the King Classic.
Yeah.
He had me running off screens, bro. Look, that dude, he was doing Rip Hamilton and Reggie Miller, man.
Yo, Rob Phelps, I still see him to this day, man. I tell him, he said, what's up?
Yeah.
So, who was y'all toughest competition and what team gave y'all fits back then?
Here we go.
Let's talk about that. We want to talk about everything leading up to that championship season. All right, so let's start there.
The teams that really gave us a problem. In 1990, Grady was our biggest rivalry at that time. I mean, by that time, that shit didn't hit the peak, right? Because before that, y'all was already right. Eric, Shawn, Duncan Hines, and all of them, right? All of y'all was right.
Shawn, it was me that year. Me, Shawn, Bernard Mitchell, Tiny, David Banjo, Peter Pierre.
Yeah,
my
Pete Pierre. Shout out to Pete Pierre. He went to Fulton Montgomery.
Yeah.
So
that was Coach's pipeline.
Yeah, we all went there. It was a bunch of us that went there even after that, but we'll talk about that.
Even before that, trust me, I know that.
Yeah, even before that, John Johnson. I seen his picture in there, number 45. I almost flipped out. I was like, "Whoa, you were here too." So, in 19, like I said, Grady was our biggest competition. They had a great team, bro. They had the greatest team ever assembled, and I can remember during the summertime, they would always play together in the summertime with no coach. So they already had a rapport, right?
They had the chemistry.
Lou Johnson lived in the projects next to me. Me and Lou used to play one-on-one fools every day, right? So Lou was a worker. Shout out to Jock. He played a big part in the community as well as coaching a lot of us in Coney Island. He was coaching with Ringo at the time.
Now, hold on. Now, did you know that Ringo and Bobby Hartstein coached together at Lincoln?
I did know that.
Okay.
I did know the history of that. And how funny that we became rivals later on. It just makes it that much better, right? But Grady at that time, I think they had reached. It was kind of like the Red Sox and the Yankees, right?
Oh, yes, disgusting.
At that time, I mean that my sophomore year, we handled them pretty well, right? Mike Spence, right? We beat them twice. My junior year,
it started to turn. It started to turn.
It started to turn. So now you got Fresh, you got Ephraim, you got Lou Johnson, you got Jamal Phillips, and you got James Hector. That's their 5. Solid 5. And what I could tell you was I didn't know who was playing point guard, Fresh or Ephraim.
Right.
So, you know,
Ephraim was the point guard, really.
Right. He was the facilitator.
Yes.
But now don't let him fool you because he'll break out on you and
Oh,
start
no doubt.
dropping buckets on you.
He can do that too. Yeah.
They had us off balance.
Right.
That year. You know what I'm saying? They beat us 3 times. That's when we went to Florida that year. When we came back from Florida, that next game was going to be against Grady. Because we went during Christmas time. Grady had played Bishop Loughlin and lost. We heard about that. So we like, nah, we gonna get them, right? Nah, because of that dominance. Man, it was like trying to move a bulldozer. They had one of the greatest teams, man. And I can remember the last game we played them, the playoff game when we played at John Jay College. Coach does scouting reports, right? Like Coach always does scouting reports. Sure. Them scouting reports is as accurate as they can be. So being that we know that the scouting report is accurate, this was the 3rd time we playing them. And, Harstein usually have everything done. But this time what he did was he said, I need y'all to give me feedback on what we should do. And I was kind of like shocked because I was like, wow, Coach is asking us what we should do. And, we came up with a plan and, it worked. The plan worked. Listen, Ephraim could say what he want to say. They did beat us. They did handle us. Did they blow us out?
That's all they're going to do. Listen, that's all that matters. Listen, it don't make a difference when it's Lincoln and Grady. Right? It doesn't make a difference. They only talk about who won, who lost. That's it. Right?
They won. They got it. Yeah.
Only reason why I'm saying this is because the rivalry is so thick. When they get to the point when they start blowing us out, then you already know the tide has totally changed.
Right. I mean, my last 2 years, I didn't win against them, right? My junior and senior year, right? Because look who they had. They had Fresh, Jamal Phillips, Mike Bond, right? He went to Hartford with Vin Baker, right? I mean, there were some great players. Mike Bond was coming into his own also. They used to call him RoboCop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He could shoot, big arms, he could rebound. You know what I'm saying? Really good player. But in that semifinal before the championship, the halftime score was 11-9. It was 11-9. We was holding on to them. You know what I'm saying? The game before that, we played Boys and Girls High with Lawrence and Bud. And we beat them. Barely. Remember, we only had Norman Marbury, Derek Cooper, and James Serissier.
Right.
That was James Serissier first year playing in that position and having those amount of minutes.
That's crazy.
So, but Grady was the hardest. Yeah, Grady.
Of course, man. Like, salute to Grady. Like, they watched us beat them for 3 years straight, and then they got tired of losing. They got some players over there, stacked it up a little bit, and came back to, become the dominant force in Coney Island for a while. They won city championship and state championship, so salute to Grady multiple times.
Facts.
Yeah. So when we talking about one of your best games at Lincoln, what game would that be? Let's talk about your best game at Lincoln, or one of them. And who was it against?
It was against Nazareth and Rob Phelps. I mean, I scored 13 points, but I'm on the bench. I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, I'm ready to go. Shawn. I'm like, whoa, okay, I get in the game. I get an open 3, I hit it. You know what I'm saying? I'm confident. But mainly I knew my role, Pooh. my role was to defend, and I had to defend Raw Phelps, and he was bringing me all around these screens, man. You know what I'm saying? He had 28 that game.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
He had 28. There we go.
Salute, my guy, my brother Raw Phelps, 28. And that again, if you held him to 28, you did your job. We talk about the number 15 scorer in New York State history. To this day.
Pooh, he was tough, Pooh. Period. He will have you running off them screens, bro.
I already know.
You can't give him no daylight. He worse than Kwame.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the city's most lethal shooters. Definitely. So let's talk about what was Coach like? You know, I know you said he gave you guys that confidence in that game when you guys were away. What was it about Coach that made him special?
To me, it felt like Coach had a lot of confidence. He knew he had to scout. He scouted. He brought us the information. You know, showed us the scouting report. I think, you know, for him, I think that was a really big part in that. I think what he did was he made sure that we stuck to our routine. Our senior year, we had to slow it down. I remember Coach saying we had to slow it down because we wasn't playing good when we were running. And the year we won the city championship, like I said, we were halfway through the year. And Coach made the decision that we're going to slow the ball down. Corey Johnson almost lost his mind and said, Coach got us playing this Boston Celtic Bob Cousy basketball. Like he was flipping out. And, you know, it helped us because it slowed us down. We moved the ball more, right?
Start playing basketball, right?
We started playing basketball. Not that we wasn't playing that before, but Coach seems to have a good pulse on his team and on his players and who they are as people. You know what I'm saying? He knew the personnel, I think. And we were able to do that. I mean, we had Dennis Edelman, we had Darryl Flicken, rest in peace.
Yes.
Corey Johnson, James Cerisier, Chaka Ship. So we slowed it down, and it was right around the time we was playing in the Metro Classic. So Metro Classic, St. Anthony's, and St. Raymond's. Listen, I love me some Terrence Rencher. He the man. I played against him when we was in BC camp. He's a dog. He played in the NBA.
A friend of the show. He's been in the show. And by the way, Pat Alfonso, what's up?
Oh, what's up, Pat? Yeah, Pat is like Pat also, man. Like one of the big brothers, man. Used to always come to Coney Island, watch the younger guys play. And so, you know, shout out to Pat. I know he's doing good things. Big things. So
let's talk about finish with Terrence. You said Terrence Rencher?
Terrence Rencher. Yeah, Terrence Rencher. At that time, he played for St. Raymond's. So we played them in the Metro. We played them in the Metro Classic, man. Listen.
He was Mr. Basketball. He was Mr. Basketball that year.
He was Mr. Basketball. But we went in there and we did what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? At that time, St. Raymond was ranked 5th in the nation, number 5. Okay? And I think for us, we looked at it like it was a regular game. Again, I'm not no disrespect to St. Raymond's. They had Orlando Antigua. They had a great coach in Garrett DeSales, right? It just, we had everything clicking that day. James and Chaka, they just, it was Dunk City. It was Dunk City. They couldn't, St. Raymond's couldn't really do much against our defense during that game, and I think we beat them by 10 or 13. You know what I'm saying? And but when we play St. Anthony's the next day, they had Roger Rose, Danny Hurley, Jermaine Womack, Woody Williams.
Yeah, I had a little bit too much for you guys. Yeah.
But we was there, man.
Right.
So
and Coach put y'all in those great situations to see how good you guys really were, right?
Yeah.
So now, who was the team that y'all beat to reach to the city championship? Like, who did y'all have to go through in the playoffs to reach the city championship?
Let me see. Our senior year, first round. Who do we play? Was it Prospect Heights? I'm trying to remember. I know the last game we played was Manhattan Center. We beat them to go to the city championship.
Now, it's crazy that you said that because we had to beat Westinghouse, boys and girls, to get to play Manhattan Center. And they, of course, everybody thought they was gonna, beat us. But yeah, that's what we beat in the city championship.
Was that first round they did that to y'all? First round?
No, we played Westinghouse first round. Then we played boys and girls. Then we played Manhattan Center in the city championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We played. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you're talking about who y'all played.
I believe who we played. I know Manhattan Center was the last game we played. The game before that, who was it? I think it was Hillcrest.
Okay.
We played Hillcrest from Queens. And the first round, I want to say Canarsie we played.
Okay. Who y'all played for the city championship?
We played South Shore. Now listen, during this time, Pooh, they were setting it up so that, again, you got to remember, the Lincoln-Grady rivalry was at its height, at its peak.
Right.
During the 90s.
Right.
I mean, we was getting more press than the Knicks. They wasn't even playing that well.
Yeah.
Because our rivalry was so hot because of what y'all was doing the years prior.
Right.
So they had set the bracket up for Grady to meet Lincoln at the Garden, even though we were both from Brooklyn. But by that time, they had already did the seedings.
Right.
I know back then they didn't have the seedings when Coach was saying about that.
What do you mean the seedings?
Where the teams are seeded for the playoffs to go to city championship?
Yeah, we had that as well. We had
that as well. Seedings? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they seeded us. They put us in two different brackets so that we can meet up. But Grady lost to South Shore, Kenny Wosley and Marlon Ince and those guys.
Right.
And the funny thing is that coach Bob Sherman had scrimmaged us twice that year and played a regular season game. So we had already seen him 3 or 4 times. So you already know how coach is with those scout reports.
Hold on. What's that? All his stuff was on cards like this, right?
Yeah, he had a card in his hand.
No, well, this would be like whatever we gonna do for practice, and he'll have something like this for the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Scout report he'll put on the board. Would be in the
put on the board. Yeah, he always had the card in his hand, looking at that card. Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
Right. Yes, most definitely. So you guys went to the city championship. Did you guys go up to Glen Falls? What happens then?
We did. We played Long Island Lutheran. We beat them.
That's crazy. We did as well.
We beat Long Island Lutheran. Who else we beat? We beat, was it 2 games?
Yeah. See, it flips. Listen, it flips because in '86 we had to play 2 games to get to the city championship. So every year it flips. So the next year it'll go for the Catholic school league. To the next year it would go for the private school, and then the next year it would go for the state school. So it would flip. So by the time you guys went, you probably guys only had to play 1 game to get to the state championship, correct?
No, it was 2 games. We played.
Okay. So it probably already came around full circle then. Yeah.
Yeah, we played Long Island Lutheran, and then we played Mount Vernon at the time, who had Rasul Salahuddin with the Long Beach State. Now, again, because I heard y'all talking in the podcast on your show earlier with a couple of guys, Harstein when he senses somebody else cheating, he just is like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't the one to be like, I'm gonna report you. You playing ineligible,
right,
because they played an ineligible player,
right.
and they beat us. They beat us by 10.
Mm.
So if you talk to coach about that, ask him about that. He didn't say nothing about that. He let that go.
Well,
You
I'm
know what I'm
like
saying?
this. If he get in the court, whether he in else, we still got to beat him, right? Because you guys didn't know that until afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
We just playing. I
Right.
didn't know
You
that
just
until
gotta
a few
play.
years after, Pooh.
See, that's what usually happens. You don't know when you win it, and you're not thinking, "Oh, we lost because this guy was ineligible." We lost because we lost. You get what I'm saying? Like that's just the whole reality of losing compared to just saying that this is the reason why. You know, and but here's the deal: you get to get on a city championship team, right? Which was that next one, and which is crazy because you go on Lincoln now. It seemed like the city championship started in 1991 because that's the only one that starts there. Then it goes all the way back. I'm like, yo, you got to put up to 86. I go up there every year. It's like, yo, can y'all put up to
Where's
86 banner,
86?
please?
But
Well,
let
that's
me
all
tell
good.
you. No,
Go ahead.
but Pooh, let me tell you. Because they got them other banners up.
Right.
They had y'all banner up.
I
That
know.
banner was sit right in the middle. You know how you come in the doors?
Right.
And you know the gym is over there down the stairs?
Right.
Right in the middle over there. Y'all banner sitting right there. Y'all the first city champ. Y'all the first team to get that city championship for that school, bro.
You know, and
Just
to set the record straight, there was one in 1947, but back then there was no black guys playing during that era, so we don't really count that era. We count the modern era, right? 1986 in a modern era.
Right.
But again, still a rich tradition, rich history, great people. I met some awesome people at Lincoln of all cultures, all walks of life. So it's all been a blessing, man. Now, Coach says, because I know he came to you and was like, listen, you go up to Fort Montgomery, go do what you can do, get your education, right? Right? Because the most important thing is to get you in school and to get your education so you can further do what you want to do in life. How was that situation going to Fort Montgomery and then transferring over to Southern Vermont, when you were in your career?
I was hold on. I was very happy and very proud. Not proud, but I was happy to leave Coney Island to start my life, to find out like what else is out there in life. It was when I went up to Fort Montgomery, it was a culture shock. But the good thing was Coach had already kind of told me about the alums that was there before that. Daryl Mims was there. I went for a visit. Daryl Mims was there.
Yes.
That was before he went to Seton Hall. But Coach had a connection with that place. Now, let me just say, in my junior year, when I was around Booby a lot, Robert Williams, he had a friend named Lonnie, and Lonnie used to tell me, he asked me, what school you going to? I'm like, he was like, you going to Fort Montgomery? I'm looking at him. I'm like, what? I don't know what he talking about. Next year, guess what? That's where I'm going. I'm going to Fulton Montgomery with all these players.
That coach
right
up there
now, he's telling me the history. Daryl Mims, Pete Pierre. Right?
Yeah.
I think Shawn Scarborough, right? I'm not sure if he went there, but I think I heard his name also.
Right. Where your phone? I'm still hearing it. I'm getting feedback.
It's over here. I'm gonna shut it off. It's off. So
Yeah, a whole line of ball players. Listen, again, when y'all kids really understand the whole process, and we talking about, I know you adults know this, you should, but the whole process of this is so it can get us a good education and give us a chance to at least have a successful life. Not saying you can't do it without it, but a lot of us needed that extra education, that extra time to figure out what we want to do in life. And going to college and receiving a college degree kind of helped us do that, in the long run. But, my coach gave a lot of guys the opportunity through Fort Montgomery because we heard about it. I heard about it when I was, coming up. And he would tell guys, for you guys who not getting any, and it's not just because you're not getting any college looks. I know dudes who had other choices, but went to Fort Montgomery because that connection, at least you knew you was gonna get a chance to it. Now I can name a whole bunch of players who went to these big time colleges and never really got a chance.
I graduated, so I got my degree from there.
Because you got a chance, and you had a chance.
Right, I had
you became a Region 3 All-Star, which allowed you to move on to the next level.
Right.
Right. So.
And I learned a lot. Like I said, Coach taught a lot, and he was really compassionate as a parent type.
Even though you don't have any kids, but I understand what you're saying.
He would yell at. No, he ain't got the right. He ain't got no. But it was us. It was us.
That's right. Yes.
He used to yell at us in the hallway. I used to be scared to see him in the hallway. I'd be like, I'm not going that way because I know his classroom up there. He could be. You see, Coach, you going the other way.
Right, because he transferred over to Lincoln, right, later on, because he started out in 320.
Oh, okay.
And then he went for 320 and he came over to Lincoln so he could be in the building.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. It says you graduated because you worked hard, baby brother. That's your sister Cheryl. Your sister Cheryl.
Oh, that's my sister?
Uh-huh. Salute, sis. That's dope. Now what was life for you like up in Vermont? Let's talk about you doing well at Fort Montgomery, and then you get to, Southern Vermont College, where you made a name for yourself there as well. How was life for a kid like you coming from New York City?
When I got up here, man, when I first got up here, they didn't even have black tires on their cars. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying, it is what it is. It's Vermont. I'm in the Southern Vermont area.
Josie's up there too, right? Josie's up in Vermont.
Nah, Joe Gibbs now is in Florida. But Joe, because he didn't say, I told him to call you, bro. I told him to call you.
Gotcha.
St. Augustine, he in St. Augustine because he went to the Army.
Yes.
So he just bought a house, he got a car.
Right. Nice.
He living it up. And I'm like, you deserve that, Joe. You deserve that. So I'm proud that he's able to enjoy that stuff. But yeah, he was up here, but he's gone. But yeah, when I first got here, it was a lot of white folks, afraid to really venture out. And, but as time went along, I got, connected with people. And, again, I've experienced racism in the worst way up here.
I thought it was pretty liberal. I thought it was pretty liberal up in Vermont because I know when I was in Maine, again, maybe because we were the attraction, I didn't experience any overt or racism or anything like that. So I just thought the people of Vermont, New Hampshire were a little bit more liberal.
You won't experience it. You'll experience it microaggressions.
Got you.
It'll be like little stuff touching your hair and those little microaggressions that we now know as Black people that are offensive towards us, and that we need to really speak up on it. And because it speaks to us, that's self-care. That's self-care to be able to call out racism, because we're dealing with it so much, especially in Vermont. And from what I keep hearing from the different politicians and the people that I deal with up here, is the fact that there are no Black people that's been up here. So how would they know, right? And okay, I get it. But then when we're sitting there and we're talking about a situation about being a racial situation that's happening to us, you probably should listen, because we're not just telling you these things. If a woman was to come to you and say that she's been raped, you're not going to go and say, "Oh, really? You got raped?" You're not doing that these days, right? Not with the Me Too movement going on. So, I've just got tired of getting profiled as a Black man in Vermont. And I spoke up to the police. I spoke up to officials in town. I spoke up to everyone, attorney generals. And I was really adamant about my self-care and how I'm being treated. So with that, that have put me in a space where people now listen to me. My fiance, Mia Show, shout out to Mia. She's the president of the NAACP, and she does a lot of work, footwork on the ground and in a lot of other places. And there's not many people speaking up for social justice, the rights for Black people, people of color. So we need that. We need that more and more. I'm a part of the Criminal Justice Council of the state of Vermont, and trust me, I let them hear about the things that are happening to Black people in the state of Vermont, and the overt racism that we all, kind of deal with on a, from time to time, and sometimes on a daily basis. So,
yeah, that's real, man. It's always hard to make an adjustment, especially when it involves racism or undertones of that nature. It makes the transition a little difficult. Now you talked about you guys making the Sweet 16 in the Division III division, right? How was that experience, and how was playing on that level different from college and then playing at Fort Montgomery? What was the big difference?
I heard y'all talking about the meal money. You want to talk about the meal money? Nah, but it was anyway, we got $6 a game. But anyway, to go to McDonald's.
Shit, y'all, anyway, listen, Seton Hall got $5, so y'all got $1 more more than them. And that's the division, that's Big Town Division I. Right.
Somebody
that was in the late 80s as well. So
that's just more proof. Somebody stashing the money. But anyway, whatever, man. Ask me that question again. What you were saying? Say that again. What was your question?
No, you don't made me forget now. No. We just talked about you guys making it to the Sweet 16, right?
Oh,
how was that?
Yeah.
How was that run? And then just let me know the different levels between high school, playing at Fort Montgomery, and then playing for Southern Vermont College. Let's start with the Sweet 16 first.
The Sweet 16, I was coaching at that time.
Okay.
We had a Division I transfer come in from Northern Illinois and from St. John's, Jack Wolfinger and Shawn. That year we were stacked. Coach went out there, Coach Ryan Marks, who used to coach at Northern Illinois, who now coaches at St. Francis College in Illinois. He's a really good coach. And he again, another coach with good scouting reports, and they really know how to build a team. But that was a really great run. We got to play Amherst College. I don't know if you ever heard of Amherst College.
Yeah, definitely.
Amherst College is let's talk about the conference. The NESCAC conference is probably the top Division III conference in the country, with the likes of Bates College, Williams College, Amherst, Tufts University.
Definitely.
Those are, in Connecticut, those are all upper echelon Division III schools that get a lot of money.
New
but not
England
enough
schools.
money
That's
to
the
go D1.
New England schools. Definitely. They
Right.
give
So
it a
they got
discount.
right New England.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so we made it to that point, and we played Williams College, which that's like running into Bob Cousy and the Boston Celtics. You know, sometimes I felt like the reffing was kind of funny. But hey, who am I? A lot of these institutions were totally white. Again, I played basketball in New York City, right? I can remember when I first got up here, my first dunk I caught, I got a technical because they said I hung on the rim too long. And I didn't feel like I hung on the rim too long. I'm just playing the way I play, right? And to me, it almost felt like a prejudicial kind of thing. Like it was
Don't
prejudice.
showboat. Don't show us up. Don't
You
show
get
us
what I'm
up.
saying?
Listen, we talked about this the other day with my couple of guys I know, and we were just saying that I know in our neighborhoods in the inner city, if a white person, yellow person, you would be purple. If you good in basketball, we gonna cheer you on. If you can rap and be a different ethnicity, a different race, we gonna clap and cheer you on and be excited for you. We're never gonna tell you to hold back or be jealous of you. We're gonna kind of big you up and salute you. But then you put the shoe on, the other foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say in all times or in every aspect, but there have been times, especially in our history as Black people, where other races was mad because how good we were in sports or acting or anything that we did that was similar to them. But if we showed that we were too good, Harlem Globetrotters, the guys who played in the Black baseball leagues back in the day, the Negro leagues, who couldn't penetrate into pro sports because they was considered to be too good or the wrong color. So that that we always had to kind of fight through that and get through that
and navigate through it and try to
right.
work through it and all that.
And I just didn't know it was like that up in Vermont. I just whenever we visit or played out there, it was just a different vibe.
Right, and I work again, Pooh. If you were to come up here, it's very calm. It's not you're not. But if you're paying attention, again, I spoke to Six. You know what I'm saying? I told Six, I said, yo, this is what's going on that I know. You know what I'm saying? Even he said, listen, there's Confederate flags up here, right? This is the North.
Right.
You shouldn't be having no Confederate flags. If you have a Confederate flag in the North, that means you a traitor against the Union. You a traitor. Because that concept of what happened in the Civil War, that was for pro-slavery. Let me tell you, they said, the slave owners down there said back then, if we're not fighting to keep slavery, then what the hell are we fighting for? What does that tell you? They wanted to keep the institution of slavery.
Well,
right?
I want to turn this conversation too far left because I could go down that rabbit hole too.
Yeah, we not. Yeah, I got you.
No. Yeah. Just to add on to what you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. They took us out of slavery to put everybody in slavery. I know I kind of went over your head, right? So listen.
We all in that.
The whole concept, us we were the test run. Sad to say, the sweat and our labor kind of built this country, right? But in real terms, when we talking about everybody's under this one system now. Now they just don't have us under the slavery system, but they got everybody, Black, white, Asian. If you live in America, you're under this system. Birth certificate, Social Security, right? So it's just slavery under a different name.
A different name, right.
Right. Or somebody said they want to give you freedom, that means you don't have freedom, right?
Right. That's true. That's a good point.
It's crazy.
Hey, I know you know what you're talking about, big bro. I'm listening to you. I got you. So
nah, that's just real. Again, you are blowing my mind. Not really much so But when it comes to, I just thought Upper New England was a little bit different. But seeing some of the struggles that you went through yourself, fighting for social justice, being a voice of reason, being a voice of empowerment, how have that transition in your life came to fruition?
It came to fruition because I was getting picked on. I mean, I was getting, I was, they were, I mean, I was just, I mean, they tried to arrest me for this, that, or the other. You know, again, I'm not going to sit here and say I was perfect and everything, but you know when you're getting picked on. And again, you know, I was afraid. I was afraid to fight back. But then it got to a point where I said, you know what? I'm not taking this no more. And then it, you know, plus the people that I've come in contact with, there's more black people up here than ever before. You know what I'm saying? There, back in the day, it was like a 1% population rate of black people in Vermont. Now that has jumped considerably. A lot more black people coming up to Vermont. And again, um, a lot of people would say, well, why are you coming here? Well, again, we we're all human, right? Like you said, we're all under the same kind of thing. As black people, we want to see trees too. We just don't want to see buildings and smog all day. We want to see trees, and you know, we want to say that's beautiful. There's a beautiful flower and things like that. So you know, that's what motivated me to just basically self-care, Pooh. I started to care about myself. If I don't speak up for myself, then what am I? You know? And then other people would ask me how you did that. And then I would say, this is how you do it. You speak up for yourself. That I can't teach you. You gotta have the ability to have self-care for yourself, believe in yourself and believe in what you can do, you know. But you know, through this journey, it has helped me gain the relationships with other people. So what I did was I started my own ABA team, right? And again, it's run through my company, which is Kidd and Pratt, my partner. His name is Chris Kidd. Um, you know, we made this because we want to mentor men, right? Because we have another problem with the schools and the colleges closing, right? Where are all these kids gonna go? Whomever they are, white kids, black kids, but where these kids are gonna go, right? There was one kid that I had under my wing. He's from Schenectady, New York. Pretty good kid. He should get a contract in a couple of years. Really good. His name is John Riles. He had to leave his college because the college closed. Could not get to another school, right? Trying to get schools for him, trying to get schools for him. These schools are not doing nothing for these kids, man. So once I started to realize that, I said, you know what? I just got to do my own thing, you know? And, you know, with him, you know, it was about mentorship. So my this basketball team and what I'm doing is about mentorship, is about learning to take care of yourself, take care of your business. Um, you know, you want to be a presentable person when you go in for these jobs, you know. So it's more of a mentorship. I'm talking to these guys about being productive members of society, the same things that coach taught us when we was back in Lincoln, you know, and all those things that we were taught. You know, I'm telling these guys now, you know, guys like Disco David Reed and Jock, you know, mentors in our community that I was able to look at. You know what I'm saying? Your brother, Six, all these guys that I was able to really latch onto and see the things that they would do help me do this. But like I said, Vermont opened up the beast in me in terms of, you know, me speaking up for myself and speaking truth to power.
That's real, man. That's definitely real. So, would you say that's how you kind of rediscovered yourself outside of basketball?
For sure, for a fact. It gave me meaning in life. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy all the time. My phone's ringing. You know, and I enjoy helping people. I want to be there for people. You know, but I need people to be there for themselves. That's the whole lesson in it, right? That's what I'm telling you. You don't need me to to help you along. But here are these tools that I can give you, right? But you got to accept it, and you gotta push yourself into feeling the way you feel, and how you want to be presented, and how you want people to view you. Like, they're gonna view you whatever way they view you, right? But again, it's what you want to do. So,
tell me a little bit more about that news statement that you made on TV when you was on the news. What was going on during this time, and give us an update if anything have changed.
Well, during that time, up here in Bennington, Vermont, they have a problem with a neo-Nazi. He wants to call himself a neo-Nazi. He's on Facebook. He harasses many women in town. He harasses white women with black kids. He harasses black women. He actually harassed a woman by the name of Kaya Morris, who was a state rep and one of the most influential people in the state of Vermont. She's from Chicago originally. She stepped down because when she went to tell them about what was happening, because he was harassing her online. I mean, just imagine somebody texting your wife and calling her all kind of names, and then they turn it around saying that it's free speech. Now, what you gonna do, Pooh? Right? So she didn't feel like she was protected by by whomever, and being a state rep and bringing the resources that she brought here. You know, she was one of the people that mainly helped me understand my power within myself, right? Now, we're in a place in Vermont where there's very few black people, right? And trust me, even in this town, black people go at each other. You know what I'm saying? That, for some reason, can never be, can we still trying to fix that situation, right?
Nice.
But it happens. But I've learned to, no matter how my brothers are treating, you know, we still love them. We still give them that love. So this man was basically harassing, and it was a big news thing. If you look it up, it'll pop up. I mean, it was a big news thing.
Now,
so
I checked it out. Mm-hmm.
You checked it out? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She stepped down. And it, like I said, it was a whole big thing. There was a lawsuit. She got 130 grand. So, and 130 grand was light. She should have got way, way more, you know, but she's a positive influence within the state of Vermont and the work that she has done, you know. But again, me being in that court, I had to tell that judge, you can't let him go. How you continuously letting him go? Now he got 4 or 5 charges. Violent. You letting him go even after you know he tried to buy a gun? He tried to buy a gun. He wasn't supposed to buy a gun. And somebody told on him. And they let him go.
It's crazy.
So I'm telling the judge, how you going to do that? They had to throw me out the building. So now they got signs all over the place. If you yell, you get arrested on the spot. But I thought it was supposed to be free speech.
You have the liberty, right? Once we really start to break down, you know, and they gave it to us. Anything that's given to you, trust me, for free, you're the product.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And we're gonna leave on that note right there. All right. So, you know, let's just go back to basketball real quick. Yes, what was life like playing in the Eastern Basketball Alliance?
Man, that was a fun time, man. I played a year in that league. I played against Wayne Womack, who played for Arizona. Andrew Kobasaski, who played for Rutgers, because I knew who he was, obviously, but he played at Rutgers with Jamal Phillips. Mm-hmm. So I played against Jamal in high school. So But it was a good experience. I played under Tom McAndrews, who coached with Don Nelson way back in the day. Rest in peace, Tom McAndrew. He passed away, but he was a guy that also started a semi-pro league in this area, giving guys something to do. You know, so we could be out of trouble, and it was really fun to be in that league. It folded after a year, but I got to play some meaningful games. I played with a guy by the name of Rafael Salazar. He lives up in Washington Heights. He's actually best friends with Carl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
He was my teammate. He's my teammate. He was my teammate at Southern Vermont, and he also went to JCA, Junior College of Albany. So,
Okay. Cool. So, do you coach the Albany Celtics now, or that's somewhere that you did prior to moving to Vermont?
That's something I did prior to that. Right now, I'm operating my team, and I'm doing my mentorship program.
Mention your mentorship program and where they can find you at. If you have a website, anything, you can promote it now.
Just if they want to find me, they can get on. Well, the website's down right now, but it's about to go back up tomorrow. It's BenningtonMartinsABA.org. Go to that website. That's about my semi-pro team. You see a little bit about me, about my manager, because we have a manager and my other coach. There's only 3 of us running this organization right now.
Right.
But like I said, it's through basketball. Usually I'm going to be starting workouts soon, individual workouts, and do those kind of things. But I don't have it up quite yet. But like I said, if they want to know more about what I do, just go to that website, Bennington Martins, ABA.org. It'll be up tomorrow, so I know it's down right now. So it'll be up tomorrow.
All right, cool. If you could change one thing, what would it have been?
I don't know. I don't know if I think I would have changed anything.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't really have any regrets. I grew up in one of the greatest neighborhoods. I mean, although there was a lot of violence, there were positive people there that took care of me, people that I look up to this day. That wouldn't, my brother's friends and all them guys, they took care of me. Spice, Silk, all them dudes, man. They made sure that, they spent time with us. They spoke with us. Just people to talk to. Also Mookie. Shout out to Mook. John Gibbons. All those guys, man. Mr. Lou. Mr. Lou was a prominent person in our neighborhood. Boobie's father. Rest in peace to him.
That's it, man. That's it. So now we're gonna get into our top five. Hope this don't get you in trouble, my brother. All right.
There you go.
Here we go. Top 5 players you played against. Only 5. Can't name the substitute, 6-man, 8-man rotation, none of that. Just 5.
We scrimmaged against Jamal Mashburn. That's 1. Well, we played against him 2. So Jamal Mashburn, Randolph Childress, played for Flint Hill Prep, went to Wake Forest, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I gotta put Ephraim in there, man. I gotta put Ephraim in there. Ephraim,
another friend of the show.
Ephraim was like he was a camouflage man. He could score, and he can pass and do all those things.
Did you watch his interview?
I did. I listened to the whole thing.
One of the most powerful interviews, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I love these. Yo, Ephraim's real, man. Ephraim a real dude. I remember we was going down the Broncos. He was always cracking jokes, and Ephraim would look at me and be like, "Dang, Shawn, you stay wearing basketball stuff, man." So yeah, Ephraim, my guy.
One more.
One more. I got to put the Marburys in there. Norman Marbury, man.
All right, Juju.
Stephon or any of the Marburys, bro. Salute.
All right.
I also wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
I'm in contact with a dude up here. He's one of my guys, Malik Miller. He went to FDU. You know who that is? You ever heard of him? Okay. I just wanted to know. Because he's trying out right now he's in the Drew League right now playing. He's pretty good. He went to Fairleigh Dickinson. So he's trying out. He's trying to get his shot. But I didn't know if you knew.
Is it a light-skinned brother?
Nah, he dark-skinned.
Okay, nah.
Yeah. I'll send you some stuff on him. Maybe you know, but
tell him good luck, man. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Top 5 players from Coney Island.
Top 5 players from Coney Island. Stephon, all the Marburys. Nah. Let me stop.
Hold on. Look. So Eric, Dawn, Jude. You got all 5. You got all 5
of them. But listen,
Eric, Dawn, Juju, Steph, and Zach.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's put Zach in there, right?
Okay.
I gotta put Zach in there because they're the Marburys. We have to.
Right.
But again, you gotta put Silk in there. Y'all crazy, bro.
Look, so
Silk, listen.
You can't go the 5 Marburys and Silk. Silk is not coming off the bench. All right.
Yeah, Silk don't come off the bench. You're right. But I'm telling you, really,
he still leads Rhode Island in assists, right?
Points.
Second in assists and first in points.
That's crazy with all them NBA players that came out of there. I heard that, yeah. But once we and my cousin seen that when they beat Syracuse, you know that video, that tape was all over Coney Island, bro.
Oh yeah, trust me.
You know how proud we was. And then Spice ran around and was like, "Yo, Silk trying out for the Milwaukee Bucks." I was just like, "Yo, that's I was young." Listening to all of this, man. So
Silk is the point guard for real. Him and Spice is my OGs. Salute to both of them.
For sure.
All right.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Hold on. Last one. I'm gonna get you out of here. Last one, but not least. Top 5 basketball players in New York City history.
Conrad McRae. Kenny Anderson, Khalid Reeves. How many is that?
That's 3.
Bro, it's so many. I'm going to get in trouble. You got to put Ross Strickland in there. Y'all crazy if y'all don't put Ross Strickland in there, man.
And salute to Raw. He just got the LIU coach, so congratulations to Ross Strickland.
Ross Strickland. Because I remember going to the games with Silk, with Bill Dees. He used to take me to the City College games, and Silk and Spice used to play in the backcourt against Ross Strickland and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So Ross Strickland in there.
One more.
That's 4?
Yep.
Lloyd Daniels.
Every time I ask that question, it's always different. Ah, man. Listen, brother, I'm glad we was able to connect, and make this happen. I'm just going to finish out my summer strong as possible. We're going to have some more good guests up here, but I'm glad I was able to get you on, brother, so you could tell your story. And just for us to chop it up, the way us rails planners need to do. Because every now and again, you're going to see somebody from Lincoln on here. That's just the way it is.
Facts.
No doubt.
You got to get my cousin on here, or Leroy Flood on here. My cousin Gaddafi, man, him and Stephon was tight. He was like close. He had rivalries. He was at Madison. So, he played after Darryl Flowers. So
just holler at those guys. The guys, how to get in contact with me. Just let me know. Leroy Floyd, definitely my guy, man. Well, I'll make that happen anytime. So just holler at me, because those are people you get to nominate, right? Because You took the question out of my mouth because I usually ask who you're gonna nominate, but you already nominate the guys. That's what we do, because we gotta
I ain't want you. I
make
thought
sure.
you was gonna forget.
Nah, I'm not gonna forget. Nah, not at all. Not at all. I've learned after doing 200 and some odd shows, almost 300 shows, to
Okay.
take my time with it.
That's
But
true.
but that's good. Those are guys that you can nominate because once you come on the show, you can nominate as many people as you want. All right,
Thank you.
and
I
we'll get them up
appreciate
here.
that, bro.
All right, brother.
All right. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you, man. Like I said again, basketball heads. I ain't no basketball junkie. I'm a basketball head.
Fact,
You know what I'm saying?
fact.
I'm a basketball head. The greatest
And
basketball show.
sorry about that. Tell wifey, thank you. Not
Yeah,
the
for
wifey,
sure.
the wife, because she made sure this happened tonight.
That's a fact. You know I got to do that because
That's right.
nothing
That's
happens
right.
without the wifey, man.
That's right. And you can now give that plug as the greatest basketball show in New York City.
Oh, listen, you are now on the greatest basketball show in the world. Forget the country, bro. Basketball heads, tune in.
No doubt.
Salute.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, bro.
No doubt.
Peace.
See, you don't have to be the man on your team to have an impact. You don't have to go to a big-time Division I college. You don't have to be, quote-unquote, ranked to have an impact. My guy played Division III basketball, but he was playing against the top players in New York City history and always guarding the best player, putting himself in position to get recognized. He used a pop line that was created by my coach to get him to school, and then the rest was up to him. Because once he got to the next level at Southern Vermont College, he made a name for himself. And now he get to chill out and live in the state where he went to school and make a change. So if you're about change, it starts with yourself. And then you can help try to change others because they got to want to do it themselves. You just provide them with the right information, which he's doing through his mentor program and coaching. It's crazy, right? Because Coach Harstein, he produced a lot of great basketball players and even better men. And a lot of us went to helping out the next generation, would that be coaching, teaching, or mentoring. So I want to say salute to you, Coach. To everybody out there in Basketball Heads land, I am your host, Glenn Pooh Harding, and you've been watching Basketball Heads live right here on YouTube. And oh yeah, we got those t-shirts. It's summertime, baby. We got them in all different colors. Come holler at me. All right? We are the official home for New York City basketball. You got to get this merch. You got to get this merch. Peace.